Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 8, Best Fear Ever live debate. Yes, I'm going on record of saying this was an absolute awesome episode, and I want to thank all of you for being here, and I want to apologize in advance for anything that I might say, any rants that I might go on tonight, because I think I'm going to take the gloves off a little bit, because I am extremely frustrated at some of the hypocrisy that's out there, some of the two-faced, some of the fair-weathered fans that are out there, I'm just going to say it, some of the liars that are out there that hype something up and then tear it down just so they can hype it up all over again. One of the things, and let me first of all thank Valar for the super chat. Hello, Valar. She wants to say hello to the 999 Army, Kills, Steph, Emmy Kelsbury, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, and patrons. So I got to take a step back, because if those of you that know me from the gaming channel know that I can rant with the best of them, if that's what's needed. To see the negativity around Fear the Walking Dead today, some YouTubers out there, some people in the media should be absolutely embarrassed by their opinion and how their opinion sways just to lure people in and then hype something up right afterwards. I've seen people rant, dog the show out, say Fear screwed, Walking Dead screwed, and then an hour later like, oh, but hey, mid-season finale's coming up, let's talk about that. What is wrong with you? What is your problem? I don't understand. Is it that desperation just to appease everybody that's out there? One of the things that we do here, and one thing I love about the 999 Army, is we always ask you guys to rate the show, to give your opinion. And last night, I will tell you, of all the broadcasts we've done, of all the streams that is out there that we've done, we had higher ratings on last night's episode than any episode that we've ever done. We've gotten some 9s, we've got some 9.5s, we've got some here or there. Last night, though, the majority, I would say 90-something% of the people watching the video were really hyped about it. They thought the story made sense. They thought it was good closure and were ready to move on. But so much animosity out there, so much the death of Fear the Walking Dead and the death of Walking Dead. Unbelievable. This would be like, imagine if I got all you guys in a stream and said, you know what? YouTube sucks. You know what? I'm quitting YouTube. Screw this YouTube. And I just threw the headset down and walked away, and everybody's left hanging like, what the hell did Kills just do? And then tomorrow night, I logged back on and said, hey, guys, come join me. We got a stream going on. Let's enjoy this YouTube experience all over again. Because that's what's going on. And here's the problem. You can't buy into that crap. As a viewer, if you watch it, if you allow it, they're going to keep doing it. You got to hold people accountable for a standard. You can't just be a chameleon. You got to stand for something if you're broadcasting. And one thing that we've always tried to do is, look, I throw my opinions out there because if I don't talk, then it's going to be silent. But I like to see what your opinions are. And we don't always agree, but I'm really not trying to make you believe the way that I believe. So I like to ask objective questions. I'm not going to go just on a 10-minute rant and say, this is good. I'll say this is why I think it's good, but I'm open. I'm open to conversations around it. I would also say, do you know why I don't believe in some of the crap, the people out there dogging it? Because some of those YouTube channels are solely built on The Walking Dead. So there's no way that that's going to be a permanent view. There's no way that someone else talking about this episode is going to continue to dog it, because they need people to watch it, because otherwise they don't have a YouTube channel, because that's all they do. So I wish that a few of the viewers or a few people would say, hey, you know what? You're not going anywhere. You've been doing this for a year, 2 years, 3 years. You've done this before. We've seen you do this before. We've seen you say that the show is dead. Shouldn't have killed Glenn. Show's dead. And then next thing you know, guys, what do you think? What do you think's going to go on? What do you think Negan's going to do next? Totally change the narrative. So I would throw down the gauntlet and face off against anybody that wanted to debate that. and anybody wanted to bring in some of their philosophies about The Walking Dead and how wishy-washy they are, any other YouTuber that would be out there that want to take that as a challenge, that would want to have a one-on-one, I would throw up a couple simple facts and just shoot it down and say, stick to what it is that got you here. Honestly, dude, and I'm not going to call them out. You really think The Walking Dead's dead? You really hope it's dead? Because people aren't going to listen to you. What are you going to do with your time? Anyway, I should drop the mic and throw the pen down at this point. So I had to get that out of my system. It's really bothered me. It's bothered me because people have talked about it. People have, it's just so fake. We're going to get into last night's episode in 1 minute, but I got a little riled up, so I want to apologize. But let me get to the viewers that are here that understand what we're about. You didn't have to love last night's episode. That's what I'm not trying to do. I get that, but I don't think anybody here dogged last night's episode out. So Jimmy's Jammin' says, that's what we expect, Kills. That's why I'm here and feel confident speaking for the 999 Army. So, Jimmy, and I think one of the things that I said with the moderators, this is really funny as well. Because a lot of our subs are gaming subs, have been here for a long time. We've got some that only watch 5-minute videos. I have people that will message me, and they'll say, Kills, I can't participate in an hour stream. I'll watch some of the playback. And I get that. I understand an hour stream is not for everybody. We were doing a lot of piecemeals and a lot of news, and we found out that we like this group. We like this network. So I do think that we want people to be involved in that. We want people to feel confident, and we want it to be your opinion. That's really what consists of this channel. But with that being said, one thing that we know that we're not playing to the masses always is every time a major character dies, we lose 200 to 300 subs. It's just the reality. Sometimes they come back when they start watching it, but they feel like because we are fans of the show, that if the show does something they don't like and they say they're going to quit watching the show, they unsubscribe. I get it, I guess. So I guess the way around that is to cater to the masses. And if you feel like that there's a major character that died, you say, oh man, Carl died, that sucks, I got to stop watching the show. You got to lie, I guess, to your viewers. And then people are going to say, yeah, I agree with that. And then you sort of go back and sugarcoat it and be like, okay, well, I guess we'll still watch. And then a little bit later on, Madison dies. You're like, oh, man, the show is screwed. We can't watch this anymore. And everybody's hyped up. And they say, yeah, you're right. And then a couple hours later, it's like, oh, you know what? That tornado looks really cool. Maybe I'll watch it again. I cannot tell you the amount of times some people have flip-flopped and said they will never watch the show again, and then they watch the show. I will say this from my own personal perspective, and someone wrote a comment on a video today, and I agreed with. I think it was Mr. Midnight. I could not have said it any better. They said that the writers this year tried to make up for a failing show the first 3 seasons. And I agree with that. I agree with that from a rating standpoint. I still watched it, but it was hard. It was hard to watch it, but I never gave up on the show. As bad as that episode was last year with the dam, I watched it the next week, and we watched it the next week, and we kind of put it under our belt, and we're hoping that it got a little bit better. But when Nick died, I didn't think this show was screwed. When Madison died, watching, I felt like the baton got passed over to Alicia last night. And there's a lot of people here. And Liberty or Death, actually, your comments, one of the comments that I read this morning when I was going through some of the videos. And one of the questions is, I think you stated you're not sure if you'll continue to watch the show. Here's the thing. You have that right. You don't have to watch the show. If the show entertains you, watch the show. If you like the story, watch the show. If you're curious what is going to happen with John and what his character is going to develop, watch the show. If you turned it on and all you wanted to see was Madison and you can't bear to watch it and it's miserable, that's the thing. But here's what I compare it to. And this is what really, there are good episodes, there's bad episodes, and then there's great episodes. And everybody has their own taste. But it's the same thing with movies. I've never went into a movie and tried to change the script of the movie. I've went into a movie to be entertained. And if somebody asked me about the movie and said, did you like it? Well, I liked this part of it, but I didn't like this. Or I don't go back and say, you know what, the writer should have did this. I'm there because they're the ones telling the story, not me. If I wanted to tell the story, I would have applied for a position to write for Fear the Walking Dead. But because I'm a viewer and because I'm a commentator, I view as a fan and I try to give objective criticism. Let me say this. I'm going to throw a question out there for the group. Has there been an episode this season, those of you that have been in all the streams, have you heard me say there's been an episode that I was not comfortable and I thought the writers could have done it better? I'm going to throw that question out for the group. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons, but I really want to get down to the core, some of the core issue. The answer is yes. Yes. I did not like, the answer is yes. I did not like the John and Laura episode. Episode 7, I picked it apart. If you guys were in the stream, I picked it apart, and then I said, but you know what? We needed this episode because I think something big is set up for next week. I think there's going to be some closure to the Madison story. I think she's going to die saving her kids. But I'm not going to go out there and predict doom and gloom. This show, this franchise, is going to leave on its own terms. It's popular enough to leave on its own terms. There are shows out there that are much, much worse, that have been going on for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, that have much, much less viewers. But when something goes not according to plan or not according to hope, then all of a sudden it's the end of The Walking Dead. I'm going to give you 3 examples of, and I don't know what it is. I think it's when you're on top, and you're not going to agree with all these examples. And just because I give you an example, don't assume that I'm necessarily a fan or not a fan, or that I support that or believe in it. That's the only deal. Okay. The Walking Dead, Apple stock, Bitcoin, and the New England Patriots. Those 4 things, and I'm going to make sense out of this in 1 second. This is why I thought that episode was so good. The Walking Dead, Apple stock, Bitcoin, and the New England Patriots get more extremist. They're either hardcore into it or they absolutely despise it for whatever reason. And if you think I'm wrong, just check out the media on any of those things. So Kel says, you lost me on the Patriots. Well, Kel, if there's a football team out there that people are more likely to love or more likely to hate, which team is it? It's the Patriots. Patriots win Super Bowls. There's people that love it. They love that dynasty. They love it. But then there's people that hate it, and you hear they're cheaters, and it's tainted, and they shouldn't do that. You could probably put Barry Bonds on there as well if you wanted to. But they're extreme. Apple was another one of those things. I see it every year. where Apple is innovative and it's creative, and then you read a report and it's like, Apple stock's going to tank. Apple stock's going to tank. They're not selling as many iPhone 10s. Their suppliers in China are cutting back their orders. The whole time this was going on, let me tell you this, just as a comparison. Apple stock went from $130 a share to $194 a share. So just because people say it doesn't mean that it's going to happen that way. So as The Walking Dead has lost some viewers, some of it is self-inflicted. Some of it is because of the media. Some of it is because people are trying to influence other people. Which is why I'm so passionate about this, because I think if people would take a step back, not try to necessarily force their opinion and their thought directly down your throat, ask you what you think about it, and let you formulate your own opinion without one person supporting it and 10 people being barbaric. And most of those 10 people that are trying to rip you away from it have an ulterior motive and really don't want you to get away from it anyway. They want you to be a fan. They just want to talk a little bit about the controversy, because that's what sells, right? The controversy. So there's my first 15 minutes of rant to combat anybody else's rant. And anybody that would like to challenge that has a channel or has subscribers, I would be more than willing to put my opinion and my viewers' opinion against an opinion that fluctuates, or an opinion that today I'm hot, tomorrow I'm cold. Maybe it's going to die. Maybe it's not going. It's going to leave when they say it's going to leave. I'll say it again. The Walking Dead is so popular, they have their own talk show. And very few shows can boast that. They're so popular, they have 2 Walking Deads. Not 1, 2 Walking Deads. And they're so popular, they got people like me and many, many others that get together and exclusively talk about this show. So don't give me that crap that the show is done. The writers did an amazing job, in my opinion. You don't have to agree with that. But me, as a commentator that will criticize the show when I think the show deserves to be criticized, and will support the show when I think the show did a good job. Even Chris Hardwick last night said, it sucks for Madison, or it sucks for Kim, but it made sense in the whole scope of things. This is a person that is as big of a fan and as big of a supporter as you'll ever find. Sympathized with the actor, but also knew that it was the right story. So if you're watching the playback and you don't like that opinion and you want to fair weather, then dislike the video. That's your choice. Dislike it, leave your comments, talk about quitting The Walking Dead, talk about leaving the show, and in fact, just get the hell out of the show. Stop talking about leaving the show. Just leave the show. And leave it for the people that want to watch it and do appreciate it. Because we'll appreciate it. We'll watch it. Okay. Now, let's talk about some things from last night. Are you guys fired up? Am I the only one here fired up? Let me know. Because that actually felt good. That felt like the first time I went on a rant, and it wasn't a Walking Dead rant. It was a hypocrite rant. And we're going to transition over to Jimmy's Jammin'. Some people that are fairly new are probably like, man, I've watched Kills and he's just so mild and easygoing and peaceful. What happened? Jimmy's Jammin' says, look at the Academy Awards show, or whatever the award show is for TV called The Last Bias Walking Dead is never nominated because of the media. They deserve, this show has been going on strong for 8 seasons, and it has such a niche. And you know what I failed to mention, Jimmy's Jammin'? That's a great point. Here's something else. How many shows have their own walker stalkers? How many shows rock Comic-Con? I mean, let's not forget what they bring to the table. Beast mode is activated. You know, I guess the only thing is, and this video is best fear ever, so people that are 20 minutes into this, I want you to know, these arguments are trying to substantiate the fact that some people are saying it's a bad episode because of what the writers chose to do. I think it was brilliant. I think it was brilliant on so many levels. I thought it was brilliant how the comic relief added to this. I will also say that Madison didn't add a great deal of humor to the show. Very talented actress. The story, I think, needed to be told. But I also think one of the things that the writers are going to do with The Walking Dead, I think they're going to add a comic element to it. That it's going to have some times where it's a little more lighthearted. I'm trying to think of a funny moment with Madison where I really just like, ha! And that wasn't her character. But I can see a little bit of Althea having that. I can see John having that. I can see Strand definitely being kind of like the drunk guy in the background from time to time. And maybe some of the other characters will lighten up a little bit. Morgan does have a little bit of that. And I could see the writers, I definitely think the writers have kept us on our toes. I think and I'm using a lot of I think, you don't have to agree with this. Just because I'm saying I think doesn't mean that I'm trying to make you think it. But I do feel as if the story wasn't so repetitive that it lasted a whole season. I think 8 was good. And what I mean by that is back and forth, the time skip. Because they can't really do that anymore. Now, we're in the here and now. So we're going to be focused on these characters a little more. Which also means that it might be a little tougher. We might be a little bit more critical of the people because we're not just caught in the time shift. Now we're with them. We're watching what they're doing here and now and evaluating it. The writers did a good job, I think, of reeling us back in. I think they did a good job of introducing us to new characters that we're interested in. How many people here are... Hold on a second. I'm going to table that question. Sergeant Chosen One, I'm going to read the super chat, and it's there. I'm not going to call them out by name because I'm going to be very generic. But yes, there are several people who do Walking Dead discussions, and they made videos that totally trashed the episode and the show, and it did disgust me. It absolutely disgusted me. And I won't say it was just them. But I also want to say this. There were people that did videos that trashed it solely based on their opinion. And I also think that's disrespectful to their audience. That I do think, and one of the things that I really wanted to do with the reaction video last night, and I hope I did this successfully, I wanted to get your opinion, and I think even last night's stream, I stopped and I said, I'm going to score it, and then I stopped, and I didn't want to give a score until I started seeing what your opinions are. And I already had my opinion. It was strong. But if it was just my opinion strong, then, okay, well, Kills is super positive and these other people are super negative. Where do I go with it? I absolutely loved it. And I am talking strictly on things that showed up on my recommended list, because I can also tell you, I didn't watch. I saw the recommended, I saw the headlines, and I was like, really? So, wouldn't have had the stomach for it. All I would say, Angela, is Brian should be careful dogging the shows, or else PT will go back to a physical therapy channel, which is what it started out as. So, not trying to dog Brian out, but I would say he's done well with talking about a show, and that show has done well for him. Maybe, if your viewers are fans of it, you know what, it's to each their own. I just didn't like the extreme negativity around what I thought most people thought was a really, really good episode, and most of you thought was a really good episode. So, and once again, no disrespect. People, they're going to do what they're going to do. And I'm not trying to belittle or dog other people out. I respect everybody that puts on a microphone and works, because this is it's not an easy job getting a group together and talking to that. But also, don't bite the hand that feeds you. These writers are working their asses off to put a show together that people are going to watch. They're not writing a show to lose viewers. They're not writing a show to make people hate them. They're not writing a show to make people leave. They're writing a show to tell a story that makes sense. And you're not always going to agree with it, but that's what being a fan is all about. It's about being a fan. It's about appreciating somebody's craft. Can you guys just do me a favor? And just right now, type your favorite band in chat. I'm not going to make this random things completely, but I do need to just give another example. This is why I said I will debate anybody on this topic. Just type your favorite band in there. Queen, Styx. Susan, Styx. I was not a fan of Mr. Roboto. Didn't think that was a good song. I thought they sold out. But I love Styx. Motley Crue. Motley Crue had some great songs. Drama King. Girl Don't Go Away Mad. Girl Just Go Away. They had a couple corny songs. I did like You're All I Need, but I didn't like everything they did. The Doors. Love The Doors. L.A. Woman was great, but This Is the End was great, but they had some songs that, I probably wouldn't listen to more than a couple times. The Bee Gees. Carolyn, Bee Gees had tremendous music, right? But there were a couple songs that, I didn't like. You guys see what I'm doing here? If all of you were honest, your favorite band, there are songs that your favorite band did that you didn't like, or they weren't your favorite. They could have done a little bit better. Guns N' Roses, The Spaghetti Incident was the dumbest album ever put together in the history of music. Terrible. The only song that was even remotely able to be listened to was Ain't It Fun, right? And they were all remakes. Ain't it fun when you know that you're gonna die young? That's probably the only thing. But Guns N' Roses was an incredible band. But you know what? I appreciate the totality of their music and the group. So, in that respect, I feel the same about The Walking Dead. When I bought on to The Walking Dead, I said, I am on this roller coaster and these guys are telling me the story. So I think it's a very similar analogy. I can criticize some of the groups that are out there, but it's the totality of what they do. And I just cannot see, as a fan of storytelling, what in last night's episode would scare people or push people away from the show or make them venomous or make them anti-Walking Dead. The Madison story needed to be told, and it was a brave, brave move. But if they would have told the story a little bit differently, people that thought Madison should go, they would have watched. I don't think Pete D is here tonight. I haven't seen him yet. Pete, if you're out there, just give us a holler. As we know, Pete is not a fan of Tara, and Pete thought that Tara should have left the franchise long ago, as many other people do. Never heard Pete D say, you know what, her story's long gone. She could have been gone. I'm going to stop watching the show until they kill her. So if you haven't caught on board yet, this is a very pro-Walking Dead stream. This is actually it's hard to do a pro-rant. So that's why I sort of had to come at the angle we went at tonight, because there's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of negative rants. And once again, this would be my firepower. If you were to take some of the top Walking Dead commentators out there, let's say you take the top 5, and you guys know who they are, and we were all in a room, and 4 were negative, and the army was positive, I would say, understand you had a pretty strong opinion about last night's episode, but do you think that your 50,000 subscribers share that opinion with you? Do you think that your 100,000 subscribers share that opinion with you? That would be the only argument that's necessary. Because otherwise, when you get a controversial show like this, it really is about what you guys think. And in the discussion last night, I felt the majority of our group was very pro-fear even after the story was told last night. So that's really the positive rant, the spin that I wanted to put on it. And once again, let me clarify. It is not a personal attack on anyone's style, on anyone's opinion. Everybody's got their own niche. But from my vantage point, the show was pretty damn good. The season was pretty damn good. There were a couple episodes that needed a little bit of kick in the rear for believability. Case in point, once again, I'm going to ask the group here, just to bring a little comic relief to this rant. And I'm glad Ronnie liked it. So, a question for the group. Do you think that the horn worked in the car that Alicia was driving? You guys know where I'm going with this, right? Because I don't know if this has been brought up. Just want you to stop and think about that for a second. All right. So, when Madison lit the flare and Alicia and Nick decided to get out and start treading through a whole bunch of walkers, maybe when the walkers got halfway to Madison, turn on the car. Don't leave Mel in the car because he's probably going to steal it like he did. But maybe turn on the car, drive behind the walkers, and start blowing the horn. And then you lure all the walkers away. You turn on the music really loud. And Madison lives. So see, I could have just saved Madison. But like I said, we're not watching the show just to solve every problem and to make every situation believable. Madison's story was about a mother teaching her kids how to survive, about being tough when the world literally is against you. And it's about passing off those traits to Alicia. And now it's up to Alicia, what would Madison do? And to take that and put her own character into it, but have a little bit of that strength and toughness that Madison had, that Madison's character had. So, while the part of me is always saying I could have survived this, I wouldn't die in a zombie apocalypse, I'm also looking at it's the way it had to go down. Because it was time for Madison and Alicia to go separate ways. It's Alicia's show now. It's Alicia's story. It's her role. If she blows it, she blows it. If her acting is not good, then we'll talk about it. But she deserves that opportunity. It's going to be where she takes it, at least temporarily. And there's a lot of good supporting cast, but I don't think. I think she's primed to lead, but I think there's some people that are really, really going to be strong lieutenants for her to make it easier for her, because she did start to show that compassion. She shows that she can be a killer, she can be ruthless, but she can also put the gun down. True. I mean, it was believable enough for me. But the thing is, if we solve every zombie problem that they have, then no one's ever going to die. Absolutely. Howling Wolf says, what do they have in their puppies? I mean, they waited until the car got completely surrounded. But that was episode 7. And I did give the caveat that 7, we picked 7 apart. If those of you didn't watch the reactions to episode 7, go back and listen to what we talked about and some of the comments. We dogged it. We dogged it and said, come on, they could have done this a little bit differently. But to a person, we left that and said, hey, we're fans of the show. They're going to do it better. And I think Pete D super chatted in one of the streams we did Sunday and said, I am so excited, and I don't think they're going to disappoint tonight. And I don't think they did. I think they gave us that finality. They gave us that closure. They set the stage for the next one, and they gave us a sneak peek of what the characters are going to be like and some of the humor, I think. Because you got to admit, you were watching that saying, oh my God, are the writers really going to have a Walker-nado? Walker-nado should have been trending on Twitter last night. So right after Madison dies, you watch this and people are like, they're over it for the most part. Like, wow, this is pretty cool. I can't wait to see that. So, August 12th is when Fear the Walking Dead comes back. I'm going to ask you, the 999 Army, once again, for your opinion. How many people in here are looking forward to the second half of the season with the characters, with a new story, with new dangers, with walkers spinning around and, I guess, biting you while they're in a gust of wind? I don't know how you're going to get away from that. I mean, Austin Powers was talking about, or was it Dr. Evil? One or the other. Sharks with lasers? Freaking sharks with lasers? You're talking about walkers in a tornado, and I think that the writers have to have a sense of humor. And they're bringing a little bit of lightheartedness to it. All right, so for those of you out there that do not feel that Fear the Walking Dead delivered, just read a few of the comments that are up there right now, and you can see there's a whole core of people. And honestly, what I care about is I care about the 999 Army. I care about the support. I care about what we talk about. There's millions of other people that watch the show that are going to love it or going to hate it. if they're subscribers and if they're part of the 999 Army, I care about your opinion. If you're not, then I probably don't. I mean, I'm just being real with you guys. Would love to have more people, more opinions, but I'm excited about what this group thinks and the interaction, because I think that you guys are amazing. Your CSI skills, your depth, your rationalization, the conversations around The Walking Dead is absolutely amazing. And there's not another group that I would rather talk about The Walking Dead. In fact, and as we ramp up Game of Thrones or any show that we talk about, there's not another group of people that I think puts more into it than this group right here. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I think episode 8 was the best Fear episode ever. I'm going to ask this question. Do you think it was the best one that they had? Or if there was another one that you think was better than this one, which episode and what happened in the episode? So cast your vote right now, and then we will wind this thing down tonight. We're going to run it a little bit earlier because the rant went on. Sergeant Chosen One says the best. Now, if you say it's not the best, give me an alternative. I'm open. Second best, like the one with John and Laura, Casey. See, me and Casey disagree on that. The John and Laura was not my favorite. But a lot of respect. If the John and Laura episode was your favorite, then, hey, you're definitely entitled to that. Kel says best of the series. Chukala says, yep, got to say it was the best. Eric Ashmore says episode 1 of this season, where I thought that was a good episode too, Eric. Jimmy's Jammin' says kills. This whole group is the most class I've ever been a part of. It is a classy group. I ain't going to lie. We have assembled quite a force here. Carol says the season premiere. I'll give you that. Kelly Golanzinier says definitely the top one. Graylin says the John. There were a lot of John and Laura fans. I guess the John and Laura was like the Walking Dead, Apple, Bitcoin, and New England Patriots. You either loved it or you didn't love it. I was a didn't lover. Jimmy's Jammin' says for sure the best. Villar says the best because it's the only one I gave a 10. Ron Burgundy, loved it. Beth, love a good love story. Brent Gilligan says second best, like the premiere. So even if it wasn't the best, a lot of people had it rated really high. I don't think anyone in this stream said it was the worst. It was the worst because Madison died. There are some people who didn't like Madison dying, but I don't remember anybody saying it's the worst. All right, everybody, we are at 42 minutes. I want to say thank you to everybody for being here, for all your support, for everything you do for this channel, for your love of The Walking Dead, for your open and honest debate, for your criticisms when they are warranted, and for your support when nobody else will support it. That sounded like it was written. Actually, that actually sounded like a speech, and it was just from the heart. See, when it comes from the heart, it's really, really real. Tomorrow night, we will do random things. There will be a Walking Dead topic. There will be a whole lot of other things, and we will get our winner of the music showdown tomorrow. We got a good battle going down. There will be some other topics that we'll talk about. Cable providers will be one of those topics. I'm going to try not to rant tomorrow. I don't know if I can rant 2 days in a row. I don't think I'm built for it. Wednesday night, we will do some bold predictions, some recap. We will also pick another Walking Dead topic. There will be no streams on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So there'll be a little mini getaway for Senior Kills. And also, Sunday we will ramp it back up, and we're going to start talking on Sunday about The Walking Dead Season 9. We are going to do our predictions, and all week long we're going to talk about the season premiere of Season 9. We'll still get our other streams. What I mean is all the Walking Dead streams that week will be about Season 1. We'll still do random things. We'll get our Thursday Thrones back next week as well. So a lot of stuff. Don't think because it's summer and Fear the Walking Dead is in a little bit of remission there, and they're kicking it back on August 12th. Don't think that we're through. at 909 and the 909 Army. We're going to be going full force throughout the summer. Your opinions, your feedback, your support is very well appreciated. Thank you. I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. You can see up there, support the channel in the top right corner. You can also see the sponsors. Some of the sponsors have a little badge and also a different color name. Sponsors are listed below. My moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels, do a wonderful job, are here each and every stream, keeping it honest and keeping it open and giving their insight and their feedback as well. And that brief interruption is exactly why we will talk about cable service providers tomorrow night. I've got just so you guys know, and we'll do the shout second, I have a very real conversation with Cox Communications that will happen tomorrow. So we're still going to do the stream. Hopefully everything long term will be reconciled. We got to the shout outs tonight. But yeah, some of those brief interruptions we're going to discuss, and I'll give you a little bit more detail of that tomorrow night. Thank you so much. Shout outs. If you guys are watching the playback, this is the closing credits. Appreciate you guys being patient through that interruption. If you like what you hear, if you like what you've seen, give this video a thumbs up. If you don't, you can thumbs down. It's your opinion. We respect that. But also when this video is live, leave it in the comments. Everybody else, give me a quick 999. I want to do a couple shout outs on the way out the door. And appreciate your comments and your participation. If you guys need some gear, if you're going to a Walker Stalker or to a Comic-Con, Kel, if you can link the link, I guess. It's to a Threadless site that provides our gear. And also, if you guys would like to be a member of the Facebook page, Walking Dead 999 Army, posting just a little bit of chat. We don't give live spoilers there, but just some interaction and part of that family environment. Then you guys can join that as well. So we would appreciate that. So I want to say all right, everybody. And you know what we're going to do? I'm just going to take a rain check on all the shout outs. Everybody here, we're going to do one big shout out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody. I can't do individuals. Hopefully, we'll be back on a normal stream tomorrow night, and we'll bring a little bit more closure to it. You guys are great. Lots of love, lots of support. See you all at 9:30 tomorrow night for a very upbeat, very passionate Random Things. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. Peace.